that new 40-watt pod mod that they made.
Oh, no, I think Steve's right. It looks more like an air conditioner remote.
Yeah. Air conditioner remote, man.
They can hear us now too. I'm done fucking with them.
I wanted to keep them in the box.
Could be showing this off.
Well, how you fellas doing tonight? Good.
I'm always good.
I'm a little irritated that my girlfriend threw away all my cartridges, but what can you do?
I'm good as grandma's hot apple pie.
Nice. Apple pie is always good, man.
My grandma died when I was 5.
Oh, when you were 5?
Well, yeah. The other one died when I was last summer, but I never met her, so.
I never met my grandparents.
She left me $30.
Oh, nice. What'd you get with it?
You mean you shot her and robbed her of $30?
No, she left me $30 in her will. And
in pennies?
No, it wasn't in pennies. But what I did with it? I took my son out to breakfast at Sherry's.
What's Sherry's? Is that
like Denny's?
So that's cool. Yeah. That's actually not bad. At least you gave to others. Do unto others as you would want undone to you. You know what I'm saying? Sort of like the Bible.
By the way, we intentionally, in the beginning, I wanted to mess with everybody, so I didn't let you hear anything. She threw away my cartridges that Andrew, I think is who asked. The kind that are out there killing people, apparently.
Oh, yours had vitamin E in it?
I don't know. I don't even know what brand it was or anything. I just had it.
Or vitamin B? Is that what you said? Or vitamin E?
Well,
E.
B?
E.
E?
Yes.
Why don't you?
Vitamin E.
Oh my God! It's a vitamin with an E.
It's Eric's seed.
It's the vitamin right after D. I never heard of vitamin E, man.
Oh, but you definitely heard of that vitamin D. You take that one all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Wasn't there a rapper back in the early '90s called Vitamin C?
Wasn't that a Spice Girl?
What about Easy E?
What about Heavy D?
What about Dr. Dre, dog?
Well, you just ruined it because we were going down the alphabet. You just fucked it all up. Thanks, Steve.
Whatever, man. I tried my best.
Fucking West Virginians.
I'm sorry, but your real name is Einstein?
No, it's actually Mike. So
I didn't think so. Yeah.
That's what the EVC stands for. Einstein Vapes.
Well, this is my first time meeting you, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat have known or met you before, but would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a juice manufacturer / mod developer in the state of Michigan, currently getting railed by our governor. Family-owned business. Me, my wife, and my daughter run my entire business. I have a store that I've been working on for about 5 years now. And, I risk losing it all.
I actually called the number that was going around on Facebook and shit, and I called the governor, I guess, right? Or was it? And I talked to the person there, and it sounded so much like their answers were so scripted.
It was
like I kept asking him stuff, and every time I'd ask him something with a valid point, I should have recorded it, and I might call him again and record it, because the way he was talking, man, he even said, and I don't know if it slipped, but he said, we understand vaping is safer or is a safer alternative than cigarettes, but we have to protect the youth. And I kept thinking to myself, so I brought up the point, and I asked him, I said, well, how old are you? I'm guessing you're anywhere from 21 to 40. I was like, as an adult, you don't enjoy flavors? And they just kept giving me this bullshit answer over and over and over. And
they actually have, even when you send in the email, they have a script that they actually, it's an auto-generated reply. And that's what they read from, is an auto-generated script that they have.
I could tell, man. But all the shit they were saying was so ridiculous. It was just like, you can't get anywhere, because he kept saying, I'll pass it on to the governor. I'll pass it on to the governor. I'm like, well, dude, what you're saying, some of this stuff, you don't even have statistics for what you're saying, man.
No, and their facts is like, okay, so 3 nights ago, our advocacy group was on Channel 2 News. They do this thing called In the Live or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is. But we had one of our senators on there, and she's there, and then this doctor, and they're saying that, oh, well, we don't know what's causing these inflammations. The CDC's already came out and said what it is. I wanted to punch this chick in her face. I really did. But they're sitting here saying that we don't know what's causing this, and all vapes need to go. And the whole thing is they're saying they want to ban flavors to keep it out of the kids.
That's what they're saying.
You're banning it from everybody, not just kids. You're banning it from adults. It's already banned from kids, and kids are already getting it. Do you think they're still not going to get it if they want it?
True. Yeah. That was one of the things I asked them. I said, do you realize how many adult vapors, vape flavors? I was like, I quit cigarettes, and the last thing I want to do is vape something that tastes like cigarettes. And then they just kept saying what you were saying. We're going to try to keep it out of the kids' hands. Keep it out of the kids' hands. And I'm like, dude.
Here's the thing. If this goes through, which, mind you, she hasn't even submitted it to the Secretary of State yet. And when it leaves the Secretary of State, it's got to go to JCAR. And the Secretary of State and JCAR both can turn it down and reject the bill. But she put out the post, effective immediately. Well, it's not effective until it gets out of JCAR. So our 30-day notice that we have to have all of our flavored e-liquids off the shelf in 30 days hasn't even started till it leaves JCAR. And she still hasn't even submitted it to the Secretary of State.
You know, I had messaged another Michigan vape shop owner because I kind of wanted someone to come on and talk about it. So I'm glad. I didn't realize you were from Michigan, man. So that's cool that you're here because I wanted to hear from someone because even Eric can allude to this more than I can, but he was in a state that screwed over their vape shops too. And that's the worst part is like you're a small business owner and then they're just trying to destroy that with these things that I don't like that shit, man.
Yeah, no, me neither. I mean, here, I'm going to move my camera real quick. And we were getting ready to re-expand, okay? None of those are tobacco, but maybe 5. That is all flavored e-liquid right there because I'm still at my store. And you're going to tell me in 30 days I have to take all that product down. And now it's going to be – the ban is 30 days to expunge all of your flavored e-liquid, so sell off as much as you possibly can. You know, stores are going to start selling it to minors just to get rid of it. Then all we can carry is tobacco products for 6 months. Then they get to review it again. And in 6 months, if she can still prove that there is an epidemic, then she can reenact another 6-month ban. Here's the thing. I don't know any shops in the state of Michigan that will survive and stay open on tobacco flavors alone.
It's impossible, man.
Now, the only thing I have, the benefit that I have going for me is that I run my lab. I manufacture 40 flavors of my own, and I manufacture for co-packing clients as well. That money's now got to cover the bills for my store just to keep my store open so I can try to survive this 6 months.
So when they say they're banning flavored, that's pod systems too, right? Shit that's already
Everything. I can tell you the pod, but you can only put tobacco flavor in it.
So who the hell is going to do that, though, man? That's just going to that would make people go back to smoking cigarettes, man.
Now, I will state something, and the only reason I'm stating this is because I know there's no representatives listening. They are not going after flavors in the tobacco. So if you've got a banana tobacco, you're good to go. If you've got a strawberry tobacco, it's good as long as the label says tobacco.
So that's kind of like a little bit of a way around it. So you could technically say every flavor is tobacco then, man.
Well, and if they take and test it, they'll find some tobacco.
Put 1 drop of tobacco flavoring in each bottle. There you go. Done.
Yeah, but that ruins like everything, man.
I know. I can't stand tobacco flavoring.
You know, when I first started to vape, when I transitioned, I liked using flavors that had a little bit of tobacco or like vanilla with it or something like that. But about a month in, man, those flavors tasted so bad to me. I had to move on to like an actual flavor. And I don't see how this is even productive to help people quit if it's just going to make them want to go back to smoking cigarettes. You know?
I will tell you something. Let me grab something here real quick. Let me see if I can find it real quick. About 2 weeks ago, before this whole ban bullshit came into play, I had a company send me out some samples. And I was trying to diversify my shelves a little bit and add some tobacco to the shelves because there is still some people that do like a tobacco. So this company sent out, and this isn't a plug, but I'm just going to show it anyway. They sent out this juice called Prestige 100. And I have hated tobacco. I hate tobacco. Once I left the cigarettes, I was done with it.
Yeah, me too, man.
But I had to sample this juice. When I vape this juice, you ever smoked a cigar?
Yeah.
Okay. You know when you get the cigar wet on the end from putting it in your mouth? And you pull the cigar out and you lick your lips. And you have that sweet tobacco taste on your lips? That's exactly what this juice tasted like. I was ordering this juice to put on my shelf regardless of this tobacco ban or this flavor ban bullshit. I just hate to make all my customers be forced to just this.
Well, the thing about it is, man, most vapors, and I mean, I don't know, Eric, you vape multiple flavors, and Bill, I'm sure you vape multiple flavors.
Yeah.
I don't ever stick to just one because you lose the flavor after a while, man. Like you just can't vape.
Vape tongue.
For the most part, yeah.
I've been on my apple cinnamon cannoli for, I don't know, a year and a half. And that's generally all I vape on. But, you know, I got a cold-hearted bitch for a governor, and I've caught a cold from her dumbass. And now I can't taste anything today. And I've been having to vape a fucking menthol, icy, I don't know, some shit. It's called Oasis. Shit. It's from Phoenix Elixirs. But it's a peach mango ice. Just so I can taste something.
See, but for me, man, the first flavor I ever went to was Keep It 100, and that's Mark Weenus in the chat. He also likes that, but that's besides the point. That's the flavor I transitioned.
You don't like me, so it don't matter.
But now, dude, I can't stand that flavor, and I vaped that flavor for almost 2 years, and it's like I just can't do it anymore. So I can't imagine just being stuck with only one kind of flavor.
Yeah. I usually run about 3 to 4 flavors, and I always have a POG loaded up on somewhere. And the reason why I do that is if I start getting vape tongue, I'll vape POG because it's such a heavy citrus flavor that it literally clears out any vape tongue.
Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. And I've got like 3 mods set up here just to try to keep flipping through them to try to pull some kind of flavor back.
See, but the thing is, for yourself, you can always make your own juice, so you don't really, you know what I mean, for yourself, right? So if you ever wanted different juice, you know, you can make, you can.
I have and that's the thing is, you know, my fight isn't for me. I have over $200,000 worth of pre-made juice sitting in my lab right now. I have a really big lab. And at any point in time, I can continue to manufacture that all day long because I'm selling it outside of Michigan. I want to go grab a bottle. I can grab a bottle. It's not me I'm worried about. It's my customers that I worry about. It's the people, you know, that I'm trying to get off of cigarettes and keep people from smoking. You know, and one of the biggest things that bothers me is our governor made the comment, we're only worried about our bottom line. I am by far probably the most inexpensive store in 100-mile radius of my business. And at the end of the year, my discount button is sitting at probably about 20 grand because my system records how many discounts we give to people. Somebody comes in, they ain't got enough money, discount.
Wait, your governor, is her last name's Whitmer?
Whitmer, yeah.
Is this true? Because someone posted this in my group, but I don't know if you can be able to see it, but that's from tobacco, big tobacco.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely true.
Okay, it is true, but, and I'm not trying to defend the cunt. Excuse my language, I apologize.
It's okay, anything flies.
She's a cunt.
She's a cunt. She can't understand normal thinking. If you actually see the full scale of the list, they're like number 100 or 102 down her list in top donators.
That's still though, man.
But it is still there.
Yeah.
They made it look like it was her number 6 top donator. It really isn't. It was way further in the list. But she did take money from Big Tobacco.
Do you think that made a difference?
I think it's all about the MSA. I had posted up some stuff that I had gotten from a buddy. In 2017, the state of Michigan made, what was it, $1.2 billion on tobacco sales tax. That isn't including the $350 million they made off the MSA agreement. In 2018, it dropped down to $990 million for the tax alone. So clearly there's a big drop there.
Yeah.
And their funds. And I 100% in that TV interview that they had going on, there was a Republican there, and he goes, "I really hope this ain't just a money grab." He wouldn't have said it if he didn't already know it was a money grab.
100%.
So I mean, it's ridiculous.
So I mean, I just found out about it's the MSA, right? I just found out about that maybe a couple months back. Well, I feel like that should be blasted everywhere, man. I mean, I guess it is public knowledge, but I mean,
it's kind of one of those unspoke about things that happen. The MSA, for those who don't know, stands for a Master Settlement Agreement. Each state gets paid a percentage of every pack of cigarettes that's sold through Big Tobacco. So RJ Reynolds pays the state of Michigan an X amount of dollars for every pack of cigarettes they sell, on top of the huge ass like $4 a pack sales tax that Michigan's tax on that.
Yep. I mean, if that isn't the whole reason behind it, man, I don't know what else would be, because I'm sure that's a big fucking part of it.
So it was too much money. And the biggest thing about the MSA agreement is that a lot of states borrowed money against the MSA agreement. So they took money out of that to use it for other things instead of what it was supposed to be used for. And then the money started plummeting. And they're like, well, fuck, how the fuck are we going to pay this back? We already spent the money. We're losing money here. So the way I explain it to anybody is, if I stick my hands in your pocket and start taking your money, what are you going to do?
Fight back for it.
You're going to knock me the fuck out. And that's what they're doing. The government is knocking us the fuck back and trying to put the money back in their pockets.
What were you going to say, Eric?
Well, I wanted to go back to Mrs. Gretchen Whitmer's campaign finances. And we got to remember, when it comes to vaping, our enemies aren't just tobacco. Tobacco is actually probably the smallest of the enemies, because they know that cigarettes are on the way out. And so they have some stake in vaping as well. The bigger enemies is the healthcare industry and pharmaceutical companies. And I got to shout out Val Kill, who also pointed this out. But tied for number 3 with $68,000 in donations to her her governor campaign, was Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, which is an insurance company. There is quite a more litany of insurance companies and pharmaceutical industry leaders as well.
Is Pfizer on there?
So Pfizer would be probably going through a pack the way they normally do it. So there is a pack that's really high up on our list that I'm trying to look into on the back end and see who funds the pack.
What it honestly all boils down to is money. I know we've said this before, but it's big business for us to be sick. It's our government makes money off of us being sick. Our healthcare makes money off of us being sick. Now, in the UK, where vaping is legal, they have socialized medicine. So they have a stake in making sure their people are healthy, because they have to foot the bill if they're sick. So that's it, like everybody said in the chat already, it's money. It's all money, and there's a lot more to be made if we're all smoking and getting cancer.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Bill, I think me and you have discussed this in the past too. In reality, we are the only country that doesn't pay for health care, but we are the only country that is banning vaping the way it is.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Australia has and they're about to repeal it. It's actually being fought. And I think, what's his name? Bogan, Sam. they fought the good fight, and I think they're getting Australia to actually repeal. They had a nicotine-free country. There was a ban on any nicotine products in Australia, period. So you couldn't get vape. You could get vape juice. You just couldn't get nicotine in it. So what they started doing is they're fighting it. And now I believe they can max out at I think 3 or 6 milligrams is going to be the strongest you can buy, but it's not through yet. They're waiting on it right now.
So, I mean, I guess what can people in Michigan do to even fight this shit, man?
Well, we have already we can't fight anything until she submits it. So, the emergency effective immediately isn't even true. So we really can't do nothing but sit on our thumbs until the paperwork is actually filed. Once it's filed, we can file an injunction. And there's a lot of us vape shops I haven't been in contact with yet, but I am fully vested into doing it. We're actually going to sue the state of Michigan.
That's what I figured that would be a step. But, I mean, also, is this like an election year for her, too?
No.
That's weird.
I honestly think she's one of those people that wants to do the big, crazy, ridiculous thing before everybody else, so she goes down in history as the first woman to ban vaping or whatever.
Either that, or as soon as she steps out of office, she's going to make a run for Congress.
So, I mean,
I guess surprise me either.
Is vaping? I mean, is it truly like an epidemic? Really?
No.
I mean, because aren't there other things far worse than vaping that you would consider to be an epidemic?
So here's how I look at it. Is there a lot of kids vaping? Yes. Do you know what they come in and try to buy when they're 18 and 19 that I allow come into my store? This shit at 50 Nick.
Yeah.
Because they want to get high on the nicotine. And every one of them that comes in here and goes for a 50 Nick, I look at them and I say, hey, did you ever smoke? Well, yeah, I smoked, man. Oh, really? So did you pull 2 cigarettes out of your pack at the same time and light them up? Well, no, that's stupid. The fuck you think you're doing now?
Yep.
You're smoking 2 cigarettes at the same time. Jump right into a 4-pack a day fucking habit.
You know what I seen on TV the other day, though, and it almost looked like, I mean, there was a girl and I believe her lawyer on TV. She was underage. And it looked like she one of the things she said was, I had to start smoking cigarettes to quit vaping. And I felt like that was a kind of a far stretch. But I mean, it also seemed like, because I think she was suing one of the companies as well. And when she was speaking, it looked like she just read off a script. You know what I mean? Like, those are the kind of things you see on TV that are so fucking awful, man, that make everything look like that, like what you're saying, man.
No, and I've seen it a bunch. Here's my thing. So right now, if you take the entire population of under 18 kids over the entire United States, 4% are vaping. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now, the rise, they say, oh, it was a 78% rise in youth vaping. 78% from 100 went to what? 300 out of millions? But at the end of the day, 100% of adult vapors were kid smokers.
Yeah, yeah.
And with that being said, we're enticing you with the flavors. Sorry, I started with a fucking cigarette that tasted like dirt. I smoked fucking Marlboro Reds when I first started smoking. So you tell me how the flavors are what entices kids to smoke. We all started smoking nasty-ass, dirty cigarettes.
Sure.
They had no flavor. It wasn't Joe Cool that got me to smoke. It was the hot chick down the street that I was into.
Well, it's usually, I mean, your surroundings too, you know what I mean? So, and we've spoke about it before on here. It's like, I think you just can't blame like flavors for kids vaping. I mean, if kids are vaping, your parental guidance should be, better. Well, I mean, I understand kids are going to do what they want to do, like myself or anybody else. I smoked cigarettes and I used to steal them from my mom, used to smoke them, you know what I mean? if I wanted to get cigarettes, I was going to get them. It didn't matter if I had to get them from a store or anywhere else, man. I was going to get cigarettes. And I don't see where anything's going to stop that way. Kids are still smoking today. It's not any different. The numbers are way down, yes, but kids are still smoking cigarettes too.
Mm-hmm. And it's just
my son, he smoked for a couple of years. I actually gave him his first vape. You know, I was smoking and vaping at the same time. As soon as I found out he was smoking, I gave him a vape. I'm like, you need to drop the cigarettes. It was a lot harder for me to drop the cigarettes, but I wanted him to drop them before it became, you know, a 20-year habit.
I would much rather, with the health benefits, I would much rather, and I hate to say this, I really do. I would much rather a kid vape than smoke if they were going to do something.
Agreed. But the one thing that people don't realize is, all right, so here's the thing. A lot of people talk about kids and stuff like that. Okay, let me explain to you something from a medical perspective. Girls are done, fully developed at 15 years old, maybe 16. Boys are fully developed and done by the time they reach 17, 18 years old. This crap about they're not fully developed, that's a crock of shit, all right? It is not. The only thing that is not fully developed is the frontal cortex where your common sense is, which is why kids get in so much fucking trouble.
Your dick's not fully developed.
Hey, Bill, then apparently this day and age, that cortex doesn't exist anymore because the lack of common sense in this world is ridiculous.
Hey,
True.
so
I used to say the guy who invented the term common sense didn't know many people.
Hey, so Vaping Rhino makes a good point. He said, yes, kids are still smoking, but they don't ban cigarettes, basically, is what he's saying. And that's too, man. Where's these anti-ban cigarette things at, man? Because if if you're really that intent on saving the youth, why are cigarettes even legal? You know?
Exactly. I agree 100%. If vaping's so horrible, we have less than 0.1% of deaths that they do. So I don't get how, you know, they want to ban vaping, but cigarettes are still widely available. Ban cigarettes if you really want to save lives. You sit there and, you know, these people talk about how they want to save American youth. Ban cigarettes. They kill more people every year than any vape ever has.
Well, that's what the Republican that was on the news the other day, when they had the whole panel, he had stated that. He said, if it's truly about the kids and you want to ban vaping, ban it across the United States. Everybody ban it, and ban tobacco and to ban the birthday flavored fucking alcohol. Yep. He said ban everything. If it's truly about the kids, then ban everything.
That's always one of my biggest arguments. And people kind of, have said in the past you can't compare, but there's flavored alcohol too, man. So, adults do like flavors, regardless of what they want to make it out to be. It's just the way it is.
We're falling into a, I don't want to say this because I'm going to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but if you've ever read the book 1984, all right, we're falling into that type of society where you have to ask the government permission for everything you do. You want to get your wife pregnant and have a kid? You got to ask permission. No, and the problem is, people in this country need to learn how to raise their fucking children. Don't let the government raise your children for you. Be a fucking grown up. You're old enough to stick your dick in someone, or you're old enough to lay down with someone. You have a kid. Be adult enough to fucking raise that kid properly. Don't depend on fucking TV, video games, YouTube, and the fucking government to raise your kid. Don't yell at the fucking, don't yell at the school because they didn't teach your kid manners. That's your job. Raise your fucking kids.
So let me ask you something. I'm sure, Eric, you might, since you're into politics more than I am, which side is more for vaping? Is it Republican, Democrat?
It used to be Republican, but now the way it's been lately, I would say
neither, or what?
Republican. It still leans a little Republican, I would say, but it doesn't seem like either. Yeah.
The people
I
who are
actually saw
anti-vaping-
something today.
All right, so the people with more than a couple $100,000 in the bank who lean against vaping usually have stock in a medical company somewhere.
That's really what it is. I mean, because even wow, why is my brain blanking? He was the FDA commissioner.
Gottlieb.
Gottlieb.
Yep.
Even Gottlieb
Yep.
came in and he had to sell his stakes in a vaping chain, a vape store chain, before he joined because it was conflict of interest, and left and now is working for the pharmaceutical industry.
Yep.
And then he switched up, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
See, now, I saw something. This is kind of a chuckle moment, kind of. About an hour ago, I was flipping through Facebook and I saw a post that Melania Trump is actually starting to make comments about vaping, anti-vaping comments. And the only good thing out of this I can hear is the Democrats don't want to follow anything Melania Trump does. So maybe they'll change their whole fucking perspective just because she's in support of it.
Hey, no, you might be right. Because that's all they are. They're anti-Trump. They don't stand for anything except for against Trump. They don't fucking care about shit.
Hey, guess what? I think we should give ourselves a round of applause. We did a half hour of real vape talk on the show.
Holy shit!
Well, I did talk about how Bill's dick isn't developed, but
Well,
Hey,
we'll scratch that out.
It's underdeveloped for a small elephant. It's all good.
would you call yourself fat? Is that what you just did?
Bill, don't be
do
so
that.
pessimistic.
I get dad bod. I'm all good. There ain't no fat. I'm in shape. Round is a shape.
Hey,
So
Bill.
I'm not in shape. I'm fat as shit compared to what I was fucking a couple of years ago.
Bill, there was some millennials cutting my grass earlier. They just were on their phone the whole time.
Was one of their names Ramon Salinas?
I think so. But I was trying to get Bill's savage blood pressure up. You know what I'm saying?
Millennials and Mexicans are two different things, okay?
He just kept. He just was like on his phone the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Instead of cutting the grass, he was just on his phone, Facebooking, taking selfies. I mean, Jesus Christ, Bill, right?
I don't get paid to sit on my phone and Facebook all day.
Billy, I'm almost done editing my review on the Ally. It is the weirdest fucking product that I've ever reviewed because I half hate it and half love it. It's like truly a mixed bag. There were so many problems I had with the design and manufacturing, but the performance has been, I mean, I love it in terms of the performance.
Isn't it just like the Orchid?
It's a lot like the Orchid, but the pods are better. A lot better. They don't leak.
Wait.
They taste better.
What is the product?
The Ally.
Oh, is it? You said it's pretty good, huh?
I don't know. I've been testing out the swell. I finally got it after 2 months of waiting.
Just like when I was out there in Vegas, you tested out my swell.
And you keep fucking calling me for more, bitch.
Oh, fellas.
Hey, Bill, if it makes
Yes,
you feel any better, I've had swells at my store for about a month and a half.
I know. I was supposed to get the advance from the guy at my V Pro, and he gave them to his friends. So I had to wait for them to be released to actually get it.
I know him because he's actually here in Troy, Michigan.
Yeah, he's a. Never mind. I ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, no, me and him have had words.
Who is that?
What
My V Pro.
Yeah, it's the guy. What the hell's his name? My store manager actually used to work for him.
Really?
Yeah. And my biggest issue with them is just I'm buying wholesale. They try to charge me a credit card fee. They try to charge me a shipment fee for their shipments coming overseas. And this was all before tariffs.
You want a really good laugh? When Tony listed me as the winner of this well in his giveaway. So here's the funny part. When I messaged my V Pro that I won, they mailed
That
me back
wasn't rigged.
for age verification. I had to pay $1 to verify my age and then pay for shipping, which I didn't mind paying for shipping. I won. It's a free mod. But to charge me $1 just to verify my fucking age, come on. That's retarded.
So, hey, Mike, you got a good blue do you make blue raspberry flavors?
My very first line has 4 of them. We actually had to stop manufacturing because people kept saying, "Oh, dude, can we try this with blue raspberry? Let's do this with blue raspberry." So yes, I do have a few blue raspberries, and I also manufacture some for my Clopet clients too.
You should hook Steve up. He loves his blue raspberry.
Actually, that's my favorite too, but fuck Eric. Just forget about him.
I've been vaping this, but I can only get it in 6, and I don't like this one anymore. But I was looking to try a new one, so if you got, I'll pick one up, man. If you got that flavor.
Do you have a blue punch flavor?
Blue punch.
It's basically blue raspberry, but it has like a watermelon twist to it as well.
We have blue raspberry cotton candy with green apple and culotta. Blue raspberry cotton candy with just culotta, not the green apple. The green apple does make a big difference in the two juices. We have a blue raspberry blow pop. We have a blue raspberry slushy. We have 3 different blue raspberry lemonades. I make one, and my co-pet client has 2 different in each of his lines. That was the Phoenix Elixirs that was in the chat a little bit ago.
Blue Smurf. Who's blowing Papa Smurf?
Hey, you know what? I was in love with Vaporgate Smurf 5 years ago when I started developing those, and I kept it along the same thing. It's called Dirty Smurf and Smurftastic are the Culotta-based ones.
Well, yeah, I love the Bastard Berry. That Bastard Berry is the shit.
So wait, you're the one that has bilberry?
Yes.
Now, did you make that fruit up?
No, actually, in Italy, they don't have blueberries. They have berries that are called bilberries. It's like a blueberry, but it's much more tart.
And they look like little bills?
Yeah, sure.
They look like me when I hold my breath too long.
So, essentially, we call it bastard berry because it's the bastard child of an Italian bilberry and American blueberry. If they got together, this was the creation.
See, I thought maybe you and Bill just conjured up some fake-ass berry.
You know, I try to make Bill feel good sometimes, but
I get it. We do too, man. We understand.
Sometimes you have to give him that digital back pat, you know.
You got to give him that
everything's going to be okay.
You got to give him that digital donkey punch, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way it is.
Wait, no, it's called a reach around, not a donkey punch.
Oh, sorry. In West Virginia, it's common to get donkey punch.
I just looked at myself. I just realized my age is showing right here.
I don't give him a digital anything. I give him a hand job.
There we go, baby.
That's kind of like one of them things that's not intimate, you know?
Hey, I can't say nothing because Dan from Snowcat Mods gave me a handy. So,
hey, you know what? That's okay because
I was joking.
Our mayor that we used to have in Detroit, Kwame Kilpatrick, he gave his mom a Hummer.
That's very thoughtful, man.
Wait a second. Let me see. Where is this thing? I lost it.
What's Bill looking for? Flashlight?
His brain.
Oh.
Is Andy?
This is all the shit I got to review that I've forgotten to. What'd I do with it?
I'm placing that order after this live show here, Bill, for that Peacemaker.
Nice. I don't know what I did with that fucking. I had that handy mod. I was gonna show it off, but I'm fucking lost. There it is. I knew I had it.
Braden, whenever Bill's available. I work on his schedule.
This is that handy. It's a 21700, just straight copper contact mod. The only thing that makes, I love this, but these doors are what makes this mod.
Is that a BB Vapes bottle?
Yeah, it's a BB Vapes bottle. It feels like it.
I kind of like those a little bit. Yeah.
But yeah, the only thing that really makes this mod work is the doors by Chris Sonker in the chat. He made these doors. They're badass.
That looks pretty nice.
He's actually sending me a new faceplate, and I got a beauty ring to match it, and a drip tip to match, all off that blue bill.
Yeah, I love this one, the fully engraved one.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Yeah, he does nice work. I love Chris's work. I want to buy everything that man makes. I really do.
But I will say, the faceplate came off because I got mine from my other guy.
That's nice too.
Yeah, he did a beautiful job on these, but I like to have extras because I like to change up.
I like we've talked about it in the past, but I like blue stab mods. I like a lot of blue type devices, and that was really nice looking, man. But that looks like, is it kind of like purple almost?
No, it's a deep blue, a light blue with a white swirl and a little bit of a glitter flake to it. See if I can.
I actually like that.
Is that resin or stab?
Pure resin.
Clean. Yeah. That looks like, it looks like when you put the blue stuff in your toilet to clean it and you flush the toilet. That's what it looks like.
I'm sucking toilet water. Fuck it.
Don't worry. I vape toilet water, man.
Robert, just because you mentioned it, I've got to get working on it. The flavor band stuff's got me backed up a little bit, but I've got it here, brother.
Uh-oh.
That looks nice too, man. That's the
dragon.
Yeah.
It's a freaking beast.
Yeah, that looks like it.
21700 squonk.
See, I like you got the +10 system in it, man. That's like
okay. It's not the +10 system.
No.
See what the +10 is? And I know Charles calls it the +10 system at his place. We call it a stem system because the +10 is actually the bottle size. It's a +10 bottle. And the bottle is actually only 7 mils of juice in the +10 bottle. We use pop this one out. We use X-Stars, which the equivalent is a monster bottle from it actually holds 10 mils of juice.
From Mod Maker, right?
Yeah. But we use X-Star bottles. They're 10 mil juice capacity bottles.
See, because I got one of them Mod Maker, the monster bottles. One of my mods, it fits in it, and if it's the same as that, because he actually switched over to using those bottles too, and those bottles are really nice as well. So
yeah, I love the X-Star bottles, and it holds a ton of juice.
Yeah,
I designed all of my Squonk mods to fit that bottle.
That's good, man, because those bottles are really nice. So. Plus, you can just stick the thing right in the thing and squeeze the bottle, and it fills it up, man.
Yep. And that's why I've always designed my mods to hold, because we use Squonkers because we don't want to sit there and drip. We don't want to keep filling our bottles either.
True.
So I'm actually trying to get X-Star to make the bottle about 4 mils taller. Because I actually have clearance between my 510 and the top cap to where we could actually put a slightly taller bottle, same width, slightly taller, get more juice. You can almost get 15 mils of juice in one bottle, and you're filling up twice a day.
Yeah.
Hey, Steel Driver, there's no trucker Widowmaker. If you combined a trucker and a Widowmaker, it would be called the Lot Lizard. Sorry.
I like me a good lot lizard.
Yeah, Steel's got a trucker, and he's also got a new trucker coming that we're working on right now for him.
Damn, I need to pick me up one of these mods, man.
I think I'm gonna get rid of this. I liked it a lot, but I don't know. I haven't found myself reaching for it. So,
is that the one with the built-in?
Yeah.
RDA? I wanted to try it, but at the price, and I was like, if I don't like it, I'm going to be pissed. I did want their 21700 Spade. I do like that one. And just because I make mods, I do buy other people's mods as well because I like a good DNA.
See, I never really got into the whole Vicious Ant thing, man. I've never picked up any of their products. I mean, they always look decent, just never went for them.
I've used them because I know a lot of people that have had them. I've vaped on theirs and stuff like that. They are great quality mods. I can't take anything away from them. And at the end of the day, I strive to have my quality at their level or above. So that's my goal, and I put that up there because it's a beautiful quality device.
Can I see that the dragon one again? It's a dual 18650.
21700.
Oh damn! So how big is it in relations to other mods?
Well, compared to the Widow, it's about the same height.
Yeah.
It's a little bigger, but literally, I hold it in my hand. I can hold it just like that.
Sure.
And I don't got big hands.
It's a center 510?
No, it's over the bottle area.
Okay.
But it will hold up to a 28 millimeter.
All right, that's not bad. Yeah, I'm sure the batteries probably last forever.
Robert Reagan said in the chat, the Dragon could be smaller if it didn't use battery tubes, but it would also affect the performance of the mod too, and the chance that something can break if you're just using little contacts in there.
See, yeah, when I started developing mods, all of my mods used battery tubes. They're annoying to unscrew, I get it. But if you take one of the top mods with contacts, a DNA mod, and you put it with the same settings, same RDA on both, I get a stronger, more consistent hit out of the battery tubes. They just hit better. And I import my battery tube from Italy. So, I don't spare any cost when it comes to building the mods. But, it's a much cleaner, consistent voltage going to the board.
Wait, what would you use in replace of battery tubes?
Something like, let me find you'd use like a battery tray kind of situation, like within our catalyst. Now, I do have it in my catalyst. I don't have one installed. But right now, you put a copper contact down here, copper contact here that works as your ground all the way across the top.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how we do this one. Do these hit as hard as my tube systems? No. They hit really hard, but with the tubes, you just, in my opinion, if you bend your tube or if you bend your terminals, you get a dimple in it. There's a dimple in your battery. Your connections are going to drop and you're going to lose consistency in the voltage. With a tube, it's the same every time.
You would still need something to be able to thread into if there was no tube, right?
Well, you'd actually make a door like Box Mod Mafia does.
Yeah.
He does contacts.
I guess you could also maybe cut the threading off the tube and kind of put it up in somehow too, you know what I mean? But
right, but then you're still using the battery tube bottom.
Yeah, so you might as well just use the whole thing.
But I do it for consistency in the power. And these battery tubes I use, they're the best I found anywhere.
Where do you pick them up from? You said Italy?
Yeah, Mod Dog. Mod Dog makes them. Sure. And when he was actually starting, before he even started the 21700 tubes, I worked with him a lot on it and told him, this is what I'd like to see. This is what I'd like to see. Then he ended up making a change recently, and I almost choked him for it. And then he told me, don't worry, we fixed it and changed it back to a different design. But they make the best battery tubes I've ever used. And believe me, I've used Mod Makers a lot. I've used Fat Daddies back in the day. Between Mod Maker and Fat Daddy, they're the same freaking tube. It was good back in the day. We desire better quality.
Sure. That's good, man.
Nice, Alan. He says his trucker hits like a Peterbilt running over a possum. I've seen your mods in the past, man. So I want to pick one up so I can review it. I end it just for my collection too, because it looks they do nice. Well, if you're wanting to do a review of it, you give me a PM and we'll work something out, just like I did with Bill when he did the Widow. Bill will tell you I'm as fair as I possibly can afford to be. Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely hit you up then, man. For sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. Thank you.
You're welcome. We're working on, and it's in the works. A design that I don't know if you guys know who Thomas Ethan Fellendor is. He was another reviewer that was through the Vapors group. He kind of talked me into doing this design, and I worked with him on the design. And a few of my designs and my mods were in works with other people for their inspiration into the mods. So he's got me working on a mod with a DNA 60 drop tank, but not like any of the other drop tank devices out there. Non-squonk, obviously. But as OCD as I am, it's been sitting on the back burner because I'm trying to think of the perfect way to put the board in there. If it ain't perfect, I don't want to release it.
Yeah, I get that. You don't want to just throw something out that you're not happy with.
And I never have. Just like the Trucker. The Trucker's a slightly taller mod than normal. It's taller than the Mirage. But we also have the 510 positioned directly above the battery tube. I was willing to take that extra 6 or 7 mils that I had to add to the height to make sure that the mod was as small as possible and as quality as possible.
So wait, a drop tank, is that like a side-by-side?
Kind of.
Yeah, that's that one where the battery's here and the tank like drops down.
Yeah,
There's just a small plate and the tank goes up.
Yeah.
BMM has a nicely.
I generally use 21700s for all my mods, just because you get the power and the amperage and the battery life out of a 26650 without having an enormous battery in there. It's slightly bigger than the 18650s, but you get so much more out of it. It's almost like having dual 18650s in a mod.
Well, in the chat, Afro Whale said he asked if Diecodes has a better battery efficiency than DNA 75. Yes, they do. I think I don't know what it is, but it's in the 90% area.
Yeah, the two highest ranking battery, the efficiency is the DNA 60 and the Diecodes, but the Diecodes is better than the DNA 60.
Yes, but the problem I have with Diecodes is even if you run them in a dual battery situation, I don't care about the money. I don't care about that. I will pay up to make a mod quality. My issue is if you put that in a dual battery system, you're still only getting 80 watts.
Well, I know that I had the Eric, you had the DNA 75 Limelight. I picked up the Diecodes, and I'm not really the biggest fan of the board because I feel like it's just all this extra shit you got to do, and I like DNA boards myself, but
I'm a DNA board.
Yeah. You know what? And it's a trade-off because honestly, I've had a Diecodes mod. I've had a DNA mod. I prefer the DNA for the simplicity because I mean, even the original DNA 75, not even the C, don't need the extra buttons. I prefer simplicity. Exactly. Like Stuart said in the chat, it's user friendly.
What's up, Roy?
See, when it comes to like SX, we can never take anything off of an SX 550J chip. It is a phenomenal chip. SX makes great chips. The problem is you have to program everything on the mod. I like the accessibility of having eScribe where I can go in and program everything. In a matter of 3 minutes, I can take and dump an entire program on my DNA 75C, and it will vape exactly like my other one. Exactly. And I don't have to worry about nothing. It takes me 3 minutes to make it perfect. Opposing an SX or the Diecode, you're doing it all on screen, and you're sitting there fiddle fucking with it for 20 minutes.
But I will say this, that the board for the Diecodes is they can make them smaller to fit in smaller devices, so that's always a plus. But
I think I'm on board with Wendy. Most of my mods are mechs. I do have some regulateds, but they're usually mods that I've reviewed. So, but if I'm vaping just for me, it's a mech usually. I'm vaping the Swell right now only because I'm about to review it, and I'm not going to review it without trying it for a day or two.
It don't get much smaller than this.
The Atom.
Is that a DNA 60?
No, this is actually a dual MOSFET ClickFET. 18350 mod.
Yeah, that's tiny.
I mean, like I said, I don't have big hands.
Yeah, that's tiny, man.
And that's what our Peacemaker that's coming out. We've been posting pictures in the group and everything. It's a 21700 Squonk ClickFET that we're working on right now. I'm kind of liking the ClickFETs.
I never really got into MOSFETs too much. I know that I don't know. I'm gonna ask Eric. You still only use regulated, or do you like unregulated at all?
I mainly use regulateds. I have a mech here to review though, but I haven't. I don't tend to use it. No.
What is the thing you're about to review?
Shane gave it to me. Where's it at? It's an MRN, I believe. I don't even know the name of it right now. It's over there somewhere though.
True Mech. This is the only one I own.
See, I've never used a tube mod or tube.
This is
mech.
the only one. It's a Skyline M6. It's the only one I've ever owned, and I vape on it once every couple weeks.
See, that's my problem is I get a yen for a tube mod, and I'll go out and I'll buy a tube mod and I'll use it for a week or two, and then I'm like, all right, time to trade this off. I don't know what it is.
Hey, Eric, wouldn't you agree that Bill should be savage?
I would agree, but he isn't.
Oh, I had something that happened this weekend, so I wasn't savage. It was just me being a dick to somebody, and I didn't realize what I did.
Well, I think Eric should play some music. Let Bill be savage.
Should we? I don't know. I was almost falling asleep over here. I had a long fucking day. I had no idea what was going on. So confused right now.
Well, let this be a awakening.
I already have
Juice up your life.
Let me know when it's ready. I'm not watching.
Go ahead, Bill.
All right. So basically my savage moment, I actually had a savage moment over the weekend. So I'm not going to be savage here. I'm just going to tell you what transpired. So I was driving the 15 in Vegas, which is, I don't know, kind of like the Indianapolis 500. Everybody's doing 80 miles an hour, cutting each other off and shit. And me and this one guy got into it. He wanted to get in front of me, but my car was a little too quick for him. So I kind of like just swerved around him and stayed in front of him. He kind of got pissed. So he kept trying to get up next to me, cursing and yelling at me. And I pulled off to my job.
You weren't having that.
I didn't stop at my job because I don't want him knowing where I work. We pulled around at the gas station right next door to my job. I got out of the car. He gets out of his car like he's got a tire iron. He had something in his hand. So out of natural reaction, I turn around and I lean forward and I reach like this. And as soon as I reached like that, he like jumped in his car and took off. And I realized I was not wearing my gun.
Wearing your gun like an accessory.
It is an accessory to Bill.
Yes, it is an accessory. It's an extension of my penis. I need it.
Everybody should have one.
Yeah.
My problem is I'm usually cruising and I have my 1911 on my hip. And I reached like I still had it on me. And he took off. Thank God he didn't call my bluff, because when I reached back there, I realized I wasn't wearing my gun because I was on my way to work. I felt stupid as hell, but hey, it worked. He got in his car and took off.
So I mean, what did you do to him? Were you flipping him off? Maybe that was what.
No, I just stood there and watched him drive away. I was like, bye. As soon as he got far enough away, I went over to my job. But I didn't want to No, I don't have different colored. I have crimson trace grips on my hand. I like the fact
Bill, was
that
he Mexican and you were spouting off racial slurs at him?
That's what it was.
no,
That's what it was,
it
man.
was another white guy like me. But
Well, if you don't
yeah,
know, Bill's also racist towards white people too, so it's not just.
Yeah, Bill's racist towards everybody.
Opportunity offender. I have no problem. I hate everybody.
Yeah. So that being said, that was mildly savage, I suppose. I was hoping you would have said you walked over and punched him in the eye or spit on him or something when he was down or kicked him or, you know what I mean?
With age, I'm trying. Yeah, exactly. My grips have a laser. But
I honestly couldn't picture Bill getting in a fight.
Oh,
No.
you don't want to see me getting in a fight. Oh, I go for two things right away. It's either your nuts or your kneecaps, one or the other. I'm too old to be sitting there wrestling around on the ground. I will take you out and be home in time for cartoons and Cheerios.
You know what? I have made that comment. People are like, dude, let's throw down. And it's like, dude, I'm going to grab a fucking chair. I'm going to clobber you and then go about my business. I don't got time to be rolling on the ground like a kid.
Yep.
Too old for this shit.
Take you out as fast as possible and expend the least amount of energy I can.
Yep.
There is no such thing as a fair fight when you're in the street.
I guess
There's
that's
no such thing as a fair fight when you're old.
This is true.
well. Eric and I will get there one day, Bill.
In 20 years.
Yeah. I wouldn't. That's being generous. I'd say about 40 years.
Yeah.
It's being a little generous, Eric.
Bill, you're older than me, right?
Duh.
What happened?
I said
missed
you're
it.
older than me, right?
I'm coming at you like a spider monkey.
Bill's like 83, I think.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm old.
I
See
think
that?
we've had this discussion before.
I got the white stripe going on right here. My
I got
stress
it all in my
stripe.
beard.
Yeah, I blame this one on my son.
I thought that was.
I was
thought that
going to
was a
say,
little-
Bill has kids mine and Steve's age.
Yeah, I think so. Bill, I thought that
I
was.
probably do too.
How old are your kids?
My oldest is 23, going to be 24.
Not super far off, but I'm older.
23 as well.
Now, Steve is 19, so.
Yeah, Steve's a puppy. He's still shit and
Yeah.
yellow.
I was just born a couple weeks ago, really.
My youngest is 18, so
I have a 13-year-old.
Well, I'm 28, but you know, 19's close. Give or take 9 years.
Give or take.
So I think that's a good segue to have an outro. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Yeah,
You feel what I'm saying?
I feel what you're saying.
Spitting out.
Well, Mr. Mike, usually we have the guests start off by saying, you know, where they can find you, a little bit about you, and well, not a little bit about you, but where we can find you and what you got coming out soon, and just something about yourself.
Plug
right.
yourself.
you can find us on Facebook under EVC Mods and eLiquid, EinsteinVapes.com. That is with a Z. We're getting ready to release the Peacemaker, which is our 21700 Squawk Click Fet, which I will put out there. I'm going to plug you, Bill. Bill had a little bit to go in on that one. He kind of pushed me into that build, which we've been vaping on it. It's phenomenal. We've got probably 9-10 different mods that we manufacture in-house. Every mod that is sold in the States comes with a free 21700 battery, either a Molly cell or a 40T, and a free bag of cotton from Cotton Bacon.
Cotton Bacon is my favorite.
That's the only kind we use here, Cotton Bacon.
Love
And they
Cotton Bacon.
sponsor all my mods.
That's cool.
So, and there's a lifetime warranty on labor with any of our mods that we develop. 2 years on the board. Usually I can get them warranted above and beyond that. And, you know, yeah, we make sure that we take care of every person that's ever owned a mod of ours. And we've got phenomenal juice. I've been manufacturing for about 6 years. And yeah, that's about it.
Very, very nice, man. I'm gonna definitely check out your mods too.
I want to thank you guys for having me on tonight. Feel free to ask me anytime. I'm usually in the chat room watching anyway.
Yeah.
Unless it's slammed at the store. But yeah, so I thank everybody for having me on tonight. It was great, and I'm glad we got a lot of good conversation out there, and I was able to inform people on the status of the industry.
Sure. I'm glad you were on too, because I think that that's important to get as much publicity about it as – I know my channel's not huge, but it's good just to get that out there, man.
Right. Yep. And I'm, like I said, I'm happy to have been here.
Mr. William?
You all know where you can find me, Cooper's Vaping View. I got a couple reviews out that I just did. I have a couple more, but nothing you guys would be interested in. It's just for the views, just for that shit. It's all beginner type stuff and pods. But other than that, you know where you can find me. If not, you'll see me somewhere on Facebook, usually in the Squonk Life group. Just being a dick to people. It's my job. I will definitely thank Mike for being here because he's always a fun guest to have. Thank you to Eric for handling everything in the back end.
I love handling your back end, Bill.
Barely knew you were here tonight, my friend.
I'm
and
tired.
Steve for having such perfect hair. So glad to see the makeup's covering the eye. I'll pass it on to Eric.
Thank you. Well, now that it's 7:09, it's about that time.
10:09.
And since it's 7:09.
10:09.
7:09.
10:09.
7:09.
11:50.
Yeah, I still have time to catch an episode or two of Carnival Row.
I'm probably going to go right to sleep.
Show, Bill.
But I haven't done any reviews for like a week or maybe even longer. I've been kind of busy and unmotivated, which we talked about. I can't even remember which live stream I talked about. It was either here last week or the Vape Odyssey live stream. But mad at companies for things like what we talked about tonight, for them not standing up and doing more for the industry in terms of advocacy, and instead just putting out a shit ton of pods hoping that they'll still be able to produce those when shit hits the fan. So anyway, but I do have one that's about to be up, maybe possibly tonight. There's a chance tonight, but definitely tomorrow, if not tonight. So yeah, over on the Phoenix Vapor channel, which will soon be changing to Phoenix Odyssey. So when you see that, don't freak out. But yeah, now that it's 7:10, go ahead, Steve.
10:10.
7:10.
Oh shit! Here we go.
So I do want to thank you, Mike, for being here. I appreciate you, letting us have you on and talking about your situation, because I know it's a hard situation to be going through, or at least seeing it through, our side. But I do appreciate you being here talking about that. And really, we had a pretty tame show today, man, when we actually talked about vape stuff.
It's because I was quiet.
Yeah, that's true. Eric didn't cause a ruckus. You know what I'm saying? But I do appreciate everybody in the chat, to be honest. And I like Bill. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and I enjoy Eric too. But yeah, so definitely go check out Mike's
7-Eleven.
No. And yeah, you know what? Thank you guys very much. And subscribe to William and to Eric. That's all I gotta say. You know what I'm saying? 10-11.
7-Eleven. Goodbye.